Hello there, I'm Joshua de Falheaven, and today we are having a look at the New York headphones from Urbanista. Those are some really interesting headphones. They have Bluetooth. They also look pretty sleek. The design is a big part of them. We design for the life in motion is their logo, so it must be pretty sad being the company who says that during a year which has a really big quarantine going on. But anyways, the quarantine will be over soon. At least this is what they have been promising us. So we are looking forward to return to that life in motion, and it is a great moment to look at the New York headphones. Those are very, very affordable. They are on about $170, but they run on a lot of sales, and you should be able to find them on a much lower price if you keep an eye open. They have Bluetooth, and that is an interesting thing. They also have active noise cancellation, because who doesn't want a very cheap headphone but with good active noise cancellation, or ANC? That means that you won't be troubled by, I don't know, random noises like a crying baby on your plane and such, if you are using the Urbanista New York headphones. The unboxing is pretty straightforward. You open this flap and you see that the headphones are protected by a larger plastic shell. I am trying to do this on camera, so it may look a bit uncomfortable. Anyways, once you have removed that, you can take out the headphones, which look like this. And they sit pretty well on my neck. There are two more things inside the package, or more than two. There is a line cable, which also has a microphone for taking calls. It is a pretty interesting idea. There is a USB charging cable inside the package as well. There is a plain adapter, because as I have told you, they are intended for airplane usage. And I'll leave this for the later, because there is also a little booklet with the New York headphones, and it also shows you a few more things about the Urbanista. It is a very well designed booklet, I think. For the price they are asking, this is like meze quality material, and that is something I really enjoy. Now, this is the pouch I have been talking about. It has a little flap here, and it also has a little pouch, just like Master and Dynamic. Feels like they have been taking some inspiration from Master and Dynamic. There is a little pouch where you can store other things, but the big pouch itself is the deal, because it is such a high quality thing. I mean, just look at this. This is so nice. This is awesome. It is the exact kind of edgy that I like. I really love the thing they did here. They have been around since 2010, so almost 10 years, or more than 10 years now. Depends on what exact date they've been built in 2010. Those are the headphones, the Urbanista New York. This is how they look like. Pretty beautiful design, if I can say so myself. Very, very simple, very non-intrusive. The left and the right earpieces are marked inside the ear cup. If you can see here, that little L, and there is a little R here as well. The headphones swivel a bit in every direction. There is a bit of motion here to adjust your head size. The earband is pretty soft, so they allow this adjustment. The headband has no padding. It is very hard, and they may get uncomfortable after a few hours of usage. Happily for me, they are actually pretty comfortable, because they really match well with the angle of my head, the overall size and the overall shape. They can be adjusted for smaller heads or for larger heads from here. Those are the main adjustment mechanism. Mine is turned on. You have a few buttons. On the side you have a button which has a little musical key on it. You can use that one to activate or deactivate the active noise cancellation. There is also a power button, the line power plug, play buttons on the right ear cup, and the charging cable on the right ear cup. The charging is provided by a micro USB port, and that is probably the biggest disappointment I have with the Urbanista headphones, with the Urbanista New York, because I really despise the micro USB standard. I'm not a big fan of them, and the micro USB is a port prone to breaking, and I had a few break on me, so I am not a big fan. On the other hand, the headphones themselves are pretty light, they are comfortable, they look pretty cool while you're wearing them. They also isolate well from the outside noise even without the active noise cancellation because they are fully closed back. You can hear some air pumping out, so there is a little hole that allows that air to escape so that you get no driver flex. While the active noise cancellation is engaged, you really hear nothing from your surroundings, so it is very good. It cuts a bit from your music quality. That is something pretty regrettable to mention, but it isn't the least intrusive active noise cancellation, but it is good enough to isolate me from random noises. I can enjoy music in peace, as I would say. The active noise cancellation also has a bit of a hiss that you always hear. It is you hear that hiss all the time while it is active. That is something to take into account. I am not a big fan of that, but every single active noise cancellation headphone has that. And it is part of the way the active noise cancellation works. They provide some kind of noise that is supposed to nullify the noise coming from the outside. So basically you get a noise as loud, or at least as theoretically loud as it will reach your ear as the noise from the outside. That doesn't mean zero noise, it's just more noise. The ear pads are pretty softish, so they provide good comfort, but they get pretty hot during usage. So if it is summer outside, like it is in Romania, yeah, they may get a bit hot during outdoors usage. They are about as comfortable as most headphones in this price range, in the $150 price range. The Master and Dynamic M H40 wireless is more comfortable, but it is larger. Those ones look smaller and they are less intrusive because of their matte color. If there is something I should tell you about the sound, is that it is thick, it is warm, it is bassy, and it doesn't have a lot of detail. Sadly, they are pretty compressed dynamically as well. You don't get everything pushed into you, but yeah, if you enjoy a smoother headphone and that one which is warm, one which is bassy, one which has a lot of lows, then those might be very good for you. They have enough sub bass that I could say that they make my head rumble. They kind of vibrate on my head because of the bass. And no, they don't have those gimmicky vibration devices inside. Actually, this is a funny story. I actually had a headphone which had a little vibrator inside. When I was a little kid, they had those in stores in Romania, and they were like, yeah, that is bass. So they would massage your head with vibrations. I know that Skull Candy also has something like that these days, and yeah, I probably won't be reviewing that because I'm not a big fan of the idea. As I understand, they also do damage to your bones if they vibrate on your head, but no, those ones have only bass vibrations. They basically have so much bass that they start to vibrate. It is not a distorted sound though. The distortions are pretty low. They aren't inexistent. You hear some distortion, you get some if you take them to their maximum volume. But at about 80% of the volume, they are pretty crisp and pretty clear. The treble is pretty rolled off, starting with 6 kHz, it just rolls off continuously, so you get almost no high extension. That means that if you enjoy a smooth and relaxing sound, those would be very good for you. On the other hand, if you wanted something that is exciting, engaging, and if you wanted to jump around like dance music, or if you wanted metal music, they're probably not going to do that for you. The sound is not the most engaging or the most active one. It is a more relaxing, passive kind of sound that you want to listen to in an airplane if you are traveling. To add a few things to my initial impressions about the New York Urbanista headphones, I've actually given them a slightly longer time to listen to before publishing the video, so this is a little add-on before the end of the video. I have figured that I should tell you about my experience. So the comfort is actually much different than I first thought. Although they swivel in every direction, once you place them on your head, you notice that the ears don't have quite enough space inside the ear cups, so the cups are barely big enough for my ears, and my ears are medium sized, so if you have a large ear, maybe they won't fit. And the headband has a very precise hotspot right here. It is right on the top of your head. This means that most of the weight and most of the stress will be right at this spot. There is no weight distribution otherwise, and there are headphones that are better with the comfort even in this price range, which is $100 price range, but those ones, no, those ones have this hotspot. On the other hand, the sound, I should actually add, is much better than I first experienced it. I have given them some time. Maybe it was the burn-in, or maybe not. I don't suppose they burn in, but if it was, I noticed after more listening that the sound is actually quite clear. It has pretty good overall naturalness to the mid-range, and although it is boomy, the entire sound can be said to be boomy. It is pretty boomy, boom boom. It is actually pretty clear and it is not muddy. It doesn't have too much thickness to music, and that boominess means that there is an enhancement at the 100 Hz area, and you can actually take that out by reducing the 100 Hz area by a few decibels using an equalizer, situation in which they sound actually quite balanced. Since those are pretty much competitors to Skullcandy headphones, I should tell you that they sound better than every single Skullcandy headphone I have ever heard in my entire life. And I actually have tested Skullcandy headphones because some friends have them, they bought them on an impulse, and I actually test headphones when I go to shops. Skullcandy is available everywhere, and I have tested Skullcandies. Nah, the New York Urbanista is much better than Skullcandy. It is also much better than most Beats out there, and yeah, the New York Urbanista is a pretty great headphone for bass heads. If you like a lot of bass and if you take out that mid-upper bass bloom, you end up with a very, very deep and powerful bass. The sub bass is quite powerful and it is pretty clear, and that actually made me think this is a pretty high quality headphone in terms of sound. The sound is quite balanced once you remove that boominess. The mid-range is quite natural and balanced, and the upper mid-range, the treble, sounds quite natural. It has good air and a good extension. There is a pretty fair and pretty good amount of overall treble and cymbal crashes, especially if you are coming from the same price range in which you can find the Aiva Arc 1, which I reviewed on Audiophile Heaven. The Aiva Arc 1 was less comfortable than the Urbanista because the Urbanista has larger ear pads. Although the two look pretty similar, I think you can tell that they are made probably by similar parts or similar OM. The point is that the Aiva Arc 1 only sounded good on Bluetooth because the guys at Aiva figured that you need to DSP or EQ them to sound better, so you need to process the signal. The Urbanista doesn't have such processing, and it sounds pretty good out of both the Bluetooth connection and the wired connection. But the Urbanista actually manages to sound quite a bit better without so much effort, so you can actually enjoy them on wire, especially if you engage some kind of EQ like in most applications that smartphones have. You are going to get a pretty good experience out of them. Don't forget they are drivable out of a smartphone, so you don't really need an expensive player like Shanling M2X to drive them. You can drive them out of almost any smartphone. That makes the Urbanista New York pretty good of a headphone, especially for those on the go. For those on the go, those should be a very, very fairly good purchase, and don't forget they look pretty cool. Actually, the design is pretty cool. I've made my mind about that. It looks nice. The overall build quality is good. The matte rubbery surface is really high quality. It feels really nice to the touch, but as I have presented earlier, I am quite afraid that having a micro USB port here the port will get scratched if you keep inserting and getting in and out the micro USB, especially the micro USB cable. So that is something to take into account. You need to be really careful while charging them. I hope this review has been fun to listen and to watch. Please press that like button if you like this video. Press subscribe for more content from Audiophile Heaven. I thank you for watching. I hope you have a lovely weekend there, and we'll see each other really soon. Bye bye.